Hello fellow Bloodlings, welcome to another Bloodline video. This is Schnugs with a female Travain spotlight today. As we get into the video here, we're going to start with the skills of the female Travain. Take a look at her skills, her kit, see what she offers, what she brings to the table. As always, when I go over skills for my spotlight videos, I like to use the Renown tab just so we can get the skills at max level. For her active skill, Quick Shot. Rapidly fires at an enemy 3 times, each shot dealing damage equal to 217.5% of the caster's strength. Here we are with her ultimate, Final Showdown. Enters a focus state, which reduces damage taken by 20% and increases attack speed by 20% and increasing strength by 1,175%. Lastly, we have Tank Buster. The third attack or skill on the same target will deal additional true damage equal to 2% of the target's max health. The female Travain excels at fighting targets with a very, very high health pool. Her bread and butter, her passive, Tank Buster, that does a 2% damage on the third attack to the same target, essentially is made to bring down bosses to do a crap ton of damage because it's going to scale off the amount of health that the boss has. So this really doesn't make her that great for PvE or PvP so much, but boss damage. So take a look at this guild boss damage here. I'm able to get over 7 billion damage out of her in one fight. The main reason I say that she's not really as good or as useful in PvP or PvE is because most enemies won't have a high health pool. It is great for boss damage. So here in the Eye of the Abyss, she won't do as much damage on Eye of the Abyss like she would for the guild boss because there are at least one stun for each boss where they get they stop the entire team. So that means they interrupt some of the abilities, they interrupt the buffs, and so on. So it's not as consistent damage as it would be on the guild boss. But you can see my max damage is a little over 9 billion on one attempt. About 5 billion damage comes from my female Travain alone. Unfortunately, Eyes of the Abyss, there aren't any stats that they show you after the match, so it's a bit difficult to tell the exact amount of damage, but I've done a few attempts and I've tried it out where I've removed it completely from the team, and the damage drops off to about 2.5 to just over 3 billion damage. I've also had her in the first round by herself or with just some support to see what she can do, and it usually comes up about 4.5 to 5 billion, or a little over 5 billion. So the question is, female Travain, is she worth investing? And I'm going to say absolutely yes. If for nothing else, we're looking at her for boss damage to get the bosses down. Eye of the Abyss is especially useful for getting materials. For each attempt on Eye of the Abyss right now, with my current damage, I get about 50 gold chests and 20 energy potions, among other things. I don't pay attention to the others that much. I'm more focused on those two, but it does add up through the attempts. You also get rewards for more damage for the server and for yourself, so it's important to focus into those things. For guild boss, the more damage you can do, I've had times where I get about 5 to 6 different chests drop from the boss itself. And I'm going to assume that's based on my damage because up until recently, it's usually only been 1 or 0 chests. So I'm assuming the more damage, the more rewards you get as well for the guild boss. As a 1-star, she's easy to breed a ton, especially during competitions or challenges, I should say. So yes, female Travain is definitely a go. If nothing else, she has one job, and that's boss slaying, and she does it well. Let's go ahead and get into my... Let's check out the stats. I know some of you are looking to see exactly what traits I have on her to see how she performs. If anybody out there has better traits or better setup for her, please let me know. Leave it in the comments if you have suggestions on traits or you think things could be a lot better. Please let me know, as I'm always looking to learn and grow. Keep an eye out for my next spotlight video, by the way. I have the female loom coming up, the ultimate support. She'll be in my next video for sure. In my next spotlight, she'll be featured in the next spotlight video that we do on the channel here. I do appreciate everyone's support. Thank you so much for the comments, the likes, and the subs. You are definitely appreciated. Keep the questions coming. I'll do what I can to answer those questions and get the videos out and get the content out that you're asking for. And here we go. Let's get right into the traits. If you can't tell by the horn and tail, she is a Tidestorm hybrid for that aggressive stat. Leadership is at 6.4k. Her strength is at 872k. 15 mil constitution and 96k fortitude. For her skills, right now I have them all leveled out at 12. During the Eye of the Abyss, whenever that's up, I'll usually switch this back out. Make sure I get her Tank Buster passive to max, and then I'll get her ultimate as high as I can push it as well, and increase her actual level also. Now what I know a lot of people have probably been waiting for is traits. Alright, so her inherent trait, I do have Agile because I don't have a choice, but it is a 30% speed increase. Foolhardy, I'm pretty sure someone out there just facepalmed at seeing Foolhardy. This trait is situational at best. Foolhardy essentially, when attacking, if the target has more than 80% constitution, it deals an additional 17.5% damage. So this is only useful, as far as I can tell, in Eye of the Abyss. Everywhere else, the boss damage will drop. They will get below that 80% threshold, and that 17.5 damage will drop off, making the trait useless after that. Even for guild boss. For the guild boss, this is also situational. If the boss has already been attacked a few times by your guild, more than likely that it's going to be below that 80%. So you will lose that 17.5% damage. For the expedition, same thing. It will be there at first, but once you start doing the damage to the boss after 80%, below 80%, it drops off, and you're no longer doing the additional 17.5% damage. So this one is situational, but because this is mainly focused on Eye of the Abyss and pushing my damage, I have Foolhardy on. At trait level 22, Athletic has a 15,000 strength increase, which at this point is obsolete for the amount of strength that I have. I will be switching this out for Fierce, so I'll have Foolhardy and Fierce, which will give me about 37.5. 37? No. Which will give me about 42.5% damage increase overall. So once I get back to a marriage challenge, I'll probably switch this back out to Fierce. But for now, it is aggressive, but I don't recommend. I mean, it is athletic, but I don't recommend it. Next up, for all of my DPS, I have Brutal. If they need strength, or if they scale off strength, I put Brutal on them to help get that 45% extra strength. Lastly, I have Aggressive. Each attack made increases strength by 1.69% up to 20%. So essentially, it's a strength build. I'm going for strength on this character. Although, So right now I have this character, just everything pushed into strength. I don't have focus on her. I know someone's asking about focus. Why isn't it on? Focus is a very useful trait, but with the support, I have her ultimate going off most of the fight. So that's why I don't have focus in here on this character. But this is my female Travain. My Travain's also at Vigor level 35. You can take a look at the stats right here. But this is my build. But here you are. Here you have it. This is my build. These are my traits. Any suggestions, feedback are most welcome. Good or bad, I'll take it either way. But let me know what you think, and hopefully this helps you out. I'm very interested to know what kind of damage the community is doing right now. So please leave a comment down below with your average DPS for Eye of the Abyss. Also, what your team is, essentially who you use, who's your main DPS, and what kind of support you use. As always, I've been Schnucks, folks, and I'll see you in the next video. Skadoosh.